What is it like living on a ship? Are there cliques? Should I really go into debt for a semester at sea? What about the money gap on the ship? I know there are trust fund babies on there. You guys are so brutal with your questions. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my world. My name is Taylor. I'm currently a junior at North Carolina A&T State University, and I'm also an alumni of the Study Abroad program Semester at Sea. For today's video, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about Semester at Sea. I've gotten so many questions about the program.
What is it like living on a ship? Is it really worth it?
So I decided that I'm going to answer all of your guys' burning questions about the program. I am not going to sugarcoat anything about Semester at Sea. I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's just get straight into the video. So first off, what is Semester at Sea? Many of the times Semester at Sea is compared to Sweet Life on Deck, and it basically is you're living on a ship taking college classes while traveling to 11 countries for about 4 months. Insane, I know. While on Semester at Sea, you get to connect with so many people on the ship, and you get to experience so many different cultures outside of the ship. It was such an amazing experience for me. I met so many people, created lifelong friendships, and got to experience the world in such a unique way. I sailed on the fall 2022 voyage of Semester at Sea. I sailed on the fall 2022 voyage of Semester at Sea, and I actually vlogged and documented my whole experience on the ship and traveling around the world. So if you're curious to see my whole experience on the program, definitely check out my Semester at Sea playlist. What is life like on a floating campus? Honestly, strange. It is so strange. Basically, you are living on a ship with 400 random strangers. No one knew anybody when we first got on the ship. We were all just random people who were crazy enough to get on a ship with a bunch of other strangers and travel around the world for about 105 or so days. Essentially, Semester at Sea works on its own academic calendar. You have no concept of time when you're on the ship. I rarely knew if it was a Monday or a Saturday. I honestly only knew how many days we had out on sea until we got into port. Instead of having weekdays, we had this thing called A days or B days, and on A days you would take certain classes, and on B days you would take other classes. So pretty much there were no weekdays or weekends on the ship. Every time we were out on sea, we would do our college classes. The Wi-Fi situation was very interesting. You pretty much have 15 minutes of Wi-Fi per day to contact your friends or family members. Most of the time I would just email them because it was just easier and faster than messaging them on WhatsApp. Instead of texting your friends on the ship to see what they were doing or if they wanted to hang out, we had this thing called Sea Chat, and it ran on like the ship's like internet. We were able to just contact people and have group chats on there. We also contacted each other with sticky notes. We would leave sticky notes on each other's cabin doors. We would also leave little notes on our doors saying where we were currently at on the ship. I know a lot of you guys are like,
wow, Taylor, living on a ship, that's boring. With barely any internet, why would you do that to yourself?
But honestly, I loved living on the ship. I actually liked the longer stretches of sea better than the shorter stretches. The longest stretch we had on my voyage was 11 days out on sea. And at first, when I first saw that we were going to be on sea for 11 days, I thought I was going to be miserable and have nothing to do for 11 days. But it was the best 11 days ever. There's honestly so much you can do on the ship. We have a movie theater on the ship. There's a pool, ping pong tables, basketball courts. What else? A gym and a spa, and there was also a lot of board games and card games that people brought on the ship, so there was absolutely no dull moment when we were on the ship. I didn't really miss having Wi-Fi. I kind of liked being secluded from the outside world, and it also really helped me create deeper connections with people because no one was constantly checking their phone every 2 minutes. What are classes like on Semester at Sea? So classes on Semester at Sea aren't really that bad at all. I think it really depends on what type of classes you're taking. Some classes might be more more difficult than others. Homework on the ship wasn't really too much because you have limited internet. You do a lot of readings, and some classes have a lot of writing involved for their homework assignments. Tests for each class differ, but for me, I only had like about 2 tests, my midterm and my final. If you do need help with classes on the ship or you have a question, you can always come up to your professors. Because they too are also living on the ship, it's actually really weird just seeing them like in the dining hall, and you could just go up and talk to them or eat lunch with them and talk to them about homework assignments. So it's definitely a unique learning experience, but classes for me were honestly not that bad at all. What is the food like on the ship? Honestly, the food wasn't that bad at all. It's just very repetitive. For breakfast, we would either have pancakes or French toast, and then bacon or sausage, and they would always have scrambled eggs, potatoes, a pastry area, and fruit. Lunch and dinner were pretty much the same. We would always have some type of pasta, and then we would either have fish or chicken. If we had chicken for lunch, we would have fish for dinner. Then also there would be a dessert station, a cheese and crackers station, a fruit station, and a bread roll station. The bread rolls were my favorite on the ship. They were so good. You could never go wrong with getting the bread rolls. If you got tired of eating the ship food, and you will get tired of eating the ship food, you could always go to the pool bar and order food from there. The pool bar had smoothies, milkshakes, burgers, grilled cheese, you know, the goods. But the pool bar does cost extra money if you were to get some food from there. Seasickness on the ship. Everyone is different when it comes to living on a ship. Me personally, I was very lucky to not get seasick at all while on semester at sea. I did buy some seasickness medications just in case. I had Dramamine and sea patches where you put like the patches behind your ear. Other people also had sea bands where they would wear a bracelet and it would like send some type of shock or something to not make them super sick. And yeah, that's what people did to not be super sick on the ship. Planning travel with limited Wi-Fi. So I know I mentioned that we only had like 15 minutes of Wi-Fi per day, but we did have 3 computers on the ship that had unlimited access to the internet. So if we were trying to plan something for each country, we would either go on those computers or we would plan for the next country we were going to in the current country that we were currently traveling at. I honestly thought that was just easier than using the ship computers because the ship computers were kind of slow, and when we were out in country we had like unlimited internet. In-port experiences on semester at sea. So while we are in port, we have no college classes, so it's pretty much our weekend. We get to do whatever we want for those certain amount of days we have in that country. The one thing I loved about semester at sea was that they really prepared us for each country before we went into the port. Every night before we entered a country, we would have this thing called pre-ports. And at pre-ports, they would tell us everything we needed to know about the country, what we needed to be careful about, or what we needed to be aware of. They would also teach us little phrases to know if the country we were visiting happened to have some type of language barrier. So I really did feel comfortable entering into a new country each time. While you're in port, there are pretty much 2 different ways you can travel while on semester at sea. You can either do independent travel or you could do field programs. So field programs are basically prepaid semester at sea excursions that you can do in each country. They have day programs where you do like some activity for that day, or they have overnight programs where you stay a couple of days and you stay the night in a hotel and get to travel around and tour around the country. I did a couple of field programs while I was on my voyage, and I honestly loved them so much. It was basically a stress-free travel experience. They plan everything for you. Your food, transportation, and activities are all covered. I would definitely recommend doing some field programs on semester at sea because you can sometimes get an experience that you can't quite do if you were to travel independently. However, field programs can be extremely pricey. More specifically, the overnight field programs, because you're staying a couple of nights in a hotel and some of those overnights include plane tickets, it can get very costly, which is why independent travel is also a fun thing to do while on semester at sea. I had some of the most amazing experiences traveling with my friends in each country and just seeing where the wind takes us. Also, another thing to note while you're in port is that each class that you take week on Semester at Sea has a required field class. And what a field class is that it is like a field trip that you do for each class. You do something in the country that relates to whatever you're learning in class. And field classes are actually very fun. It doesn't even feel like a class at all because you get to do some type of activity in that country. My favorite field class that I did was in India, and we actually got to go to Bollywood and learn Bollywood dances and learn about the newspaper industry in India and visit a newspaper organization. It was a very fun field class. It's also another type of stress-free traveling. You don't need to do anything besides show up. Making friends on Semester at Sea. So at first I was a little bit nervous about making friends on Semester at Sea. You're literally going on a ship with a bunch of strangers who know nothing about you, but it's like freshman year of college all over again. No one knows anyone, and you're all essentially in the same boat, no pun intended. Everyone is trying to make friends and get to know people, so people are super nice and welcoming on the ship. It's very easy to just meet people and make friends. I ended up meeting my really close friends on the program around the first and second day I was on the ship. We ended up clicking and we just decided we liked each other's vibes and we wanted to travel with each other in each country. And if you are nervous about meeting people on the ship, there are group chats that were created prior to going on the voyage, and you can just talk to a bunch of people. I was able to find my roommate and we had different Zoom calls and got to know each other, so it was super nice to actually know a couple of people before I actually went on my voyage. Are there cliques on Semester at Sea? Yes, there are cliques on Semester at Sea. As time moves on the ship, people just start staying complacent in their friend groups and not really venturing out to meet any other people. And this was just my voyage specifically. I'm not sure about any of the other voyages, but my advice for you guys when you do go on your own voyage is to still go out and meet people. Yes, you are gonna have your really close friends on the ship that you just wanna stay with and travel with and always hang out with, but there are some really interesting people that you can meet on the ship. When I was on my voyage, I was always running into people who I had never seen at all until that day. Even though the ship is such a tight-knit community, you're still not gonna meet everyone who is on your voyage. But to combat cliques on the ship, definitely go out and be open to meeting new people. You can never have too many friends on the ship. Drama on the ship. Honestly, the drama that happened on the ship was very stupid. When you were in the moment, like, it was just,
oh my gosh, what is going on?
But like after the fact, it's just like, why was there drama about that? Since the ship is a very small and tight-knit community, word travels fast on the ship. We had this thing called Rumor Ranger on our sea chat, and it was just this little forum where people would just talk about different drama or gossip that was happening on the ship. It kind of reminded me of Gossip Girl, like,
rumor has it so-and-so got kicked off the ship.
But the main drama factors that happened on the ship were sea bays, traveling, and people just getting irritated at people. There was a point in my voyage where people were arguing on sea chat about, I don't know, I think it was about COVID cases spreading on our ship. We were trying to get into India and we had a large number of people who were getting COVID, and we needed to bring the numbers down or else we would not be able to go to India. And people were just arguing about people who didn't want to wear masks or weren't trying to social distance themselves. It got very crazy to the point where me and my friends are like, we need to bring the holly jolly spirit on the ship because Christmas is coming and everyone is just arguing. Also, the other drama that would happen on the ship would just be sea bay drama. Girls would have crushes on certain guys, and the girls to guy ratio is very drastic. There are more girls on the ship than guys, so of course it's just gonna be drama with people liking the same person. And then I think another drama causer would be people having different traveling styles. Some people would just talk about having like bad traveling experiences with people, and like word will travel fast about like how that experience was. I would just stay out of the drama on the ship. It doesn't really matter and it's not that deep. Like when you get off the ship, you're gonna realize how stupid that drama was. And I think because we were all stuck on a ship and not really much to do, we had no internet or anything, talking about gossip was the main thing that interested people on the ship. Challenges that I faced while on Semester at Sea. Mid-voyage burnout was a big one for me. Towards the middle of my voyage, I started getting really tired about traveling constantly. I just wanted to lay down and watch TV all day. Like, I just did not have a break at all. Because when you're on semester at sea, it's constantly go, 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 go. And you really do want to experience everything that semester at sea has to offer, because when are you ever going to get this experience again? And I just kind of felt like I was being ungrateful at one point. It's like, why aren't you happy that you're having this experience of a lifetime? You should be enjoying it to the fullest. But honestly, you're going to have a mid-voyage burnout, and it's okay. Everyone experiences it. Constantly traveling is not the norm, and you're definitely just going to be at a point where you just want to be lazy and watch TV. You definitely do need to set time for yourself to just be alone, take time to recuperate and recharge your energy before going out and exploring the world. The money gap on semester at sea was also a challenge that I faced while on the program. Because semester at sea is such an expensive program, there are going to be people who are extremely rich. Some people will just drop $1,000 in each country and not bat an eye. It honestly gets intimidating as a person who was able to do semester at sea because of scholarships, and you worry if you're going to find people who are like you, who have like the same budget as you. And the answer is yes, you will be able to find those people who have the same budget as you. You just gotta look around. Another challenge that I experienced while on the ship was the diversity factor. It is no big secret that semester at sea is a predominantly white environment. When you go on YouTube to search up semester at sea, the majority of the vlogs or videos about semester at sea are white people doing those videos. And even though I had gone to a PWI in high school, I was kind of nervous going back into that environment after going to an HBCU for my freshman year of college. So there was definitely an adjustment process for me as a minority on the ship. Some people on the ship were just, I don't know if insensitive is the right word to use. I just feel like they would just say certain things that they wouldn't really understand came off as rude or just a little bit prejudiced. I did try and like limit my interactions with those people because there really are good people on the ship, but there's always that small few that just kind of make you go, huh, interesting. I did find ways to connect with my community. I created a Black Student Union club on the ship, so it was a great way to just be with my community and just talk about our experiences as a minority traveling around the world. So there are ways to really connect with your community on the ship. Even though I had an amazing time on semester at sea, I do wish the diversity was a lot better on the ship. Is semester at sea worth it? I've gotten asked this question so many times.
Is it worth it? Is semester at sea worth getting into debt for?
And my answer will always be 1,000 times yes. Semester at sea has so far, and I think will be, the best experience I have ever had in my academic and personal life. It was such a transformative program that changed me in so many different ways. I feel like I grew more as a person. I became more outgoing and fearless in travel. And I feel like I learned that I can do anything if I put my mind to it. My answer will always be yes to anyone who asks me if they should do semester at sea. I feel like everyone should be able to get the chance to do this unique program. And I know the price tag is a huge deterrent for people to want to do the program. And I'll definitely be making a video about how I was able to afford what I think to be the most expensive study abroad program there is. But if you have the means to do semester at sea, you should definitely consider doing the program. There is no study abroad program quite like semester at sea. Well, that concludes my video on everything you need to know about semester at sea. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. And if you guys have any other questions for me, just leave them down in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer them. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Sitting in silence, we still feel the vibe, and you could not say a word, and I know what you just decided. We'd be right